Okay, so today we're going to talk about areas of sectors of circles. Now let's just talk about what a sector is. A sector is like if you take a pizza and you start from a point in the center and you cut you a slice. Okay, so if you have a center cut, go to the center of the pizza and you cut you a slice of pizza, then that is what we call a sector. Same thing for like a slice of cornbread or something like that. So we call those sectors. Okay, they're not triangles because they have a rounded edge, because the outside edge is part of a circle. So if somebody says something about a piece of pizza being a triangle shape, you can correct them and tell them, no, it's not. It's a sector. All right. And you will sound like super smart and probably a little obnoxious, but people like me do that all the time. So anyway, so that is what a sector is. It's like a pizza wedge out of a circle. So just to remind you some area and formula things about circles. First of all, a circumference of a circle is pi times diameter, or we can use 2 pi r, because we know that a diameter is twice a radius. So that's why you can use pi times diameter or 2 pi r, because 2 times the radius equals a diameter. And then you're going to multiply by pi. So it might be handy to pause the video now and get your calculator out so you can work with me, because we are going to be needing those. Also, just to make mention, anytime you say pi, you can use the pi function of your calculator if you have a graphing calculator, or if you want to estimate, use 3.14, but just make sure that you use your approximately sign and not equals. All right, now it's important that what we're going to need for this lesson a lot is the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So pi r squared is the area of a whole circle. And we're going to need that area to help us find the area of a sector of a circle. So we're going to talk in a minute about how area of the whole circle relates to the area of just a sector of the circle. All right, so let's talk about what a sector is. A sector of a circle is a region bounded by 2 radii. That means 2 radiuses, but we say radii of the circle and their intercepted arc. So 2 radii form the sides of your pizza, if you will, and the arc, it would be the outside edge of the pizza. Okay, so the theorem, okay, and it's highlighted in yellow right here, says the ratio of the area of a circle to the area of the whole circle, pi r squared, is equal to the ratio of the measure of the intersected arc to 360. So basically, you take your arc measure and put it over 360 as a fraction and multiply that by pi r squared. So remember, pi r squared is the area of the whole circle. Okay? So you're going to take the arc measure over 360 and multiply it times pi r squared. Okay? So all you need is the arc measure and the radius. Okay. So we're going to just see some examples here. It says find the area of the sectors formed by angle UTV. Okay, so UTV right here. So I've got a yellow sector and a blue sector. Hopefully y'all aren't colorblind. But the inside sector, the small sector, that angle measure is 70 degrees. So that means the arc measure, its intercepted arc, is also 70 degrees, because that is a central angle, because it is connected at the center. So if it's connected at the center, then that's going to be the same thing as the intercepted arc that it makes. So the area of the yellow sector is going to be area equals the intercepted arc, which is 70 over 360, times pi times the radius squared. Well, our radius is 8. So 8 squared. So I'm going to simplify a little bit. 70 over 360, and I know that will reduce, but I'm going to just use my calculator in a minute. 8 squared is 64, 64 pi. Let's just say 360 on the bottom. Sorry, I had a boo-boo. All right, so let me see if I can get my calculator going, y'all. Excuse me for a second. I haven't turned it on in a while. I should already have that going. All right, So I'm going to hit parentheses to do my fraction. 70 divided by 360, close your parentheses, times 64, and I'm going to do pi. Remember, pi is with the rooftop button, so I'm going to hit second rooftop. If you don't have your fancy calculator, then you can do 3.14. Close parentheses and hit enter. So the area of that circle is approximate, or that sector of that circle, that yellow sector, is approximately 39.1. 39.1. And area is in square units. And it doesn't tell me the units. If they told me the radii units were inches or whatever, then I would use those units. So it was in 39.1. I'm just going to say square units. Okay, so again, in our calculator, we did 70 divided by 360. So our arc measure over 360, because that's the distance all the way around a circle, times 64 pi. And then we approximated that to 39.1. All right, if we wanted to find the blue sector, okay, because some questions want you to find the larger sector. And, well, that angle measure is going to be 360 minus 70, which is 290. Okay, so from here to here is 290 degrees. So that arc measure, that major arc there, is 290 degrees. So you would say area equals 290 over 360 times, you can just go ahead and say 64 pi because the radius hasn't changed. So I'm just going to use my calculator. 290 divided by 360 times 64 pi. I'm getting that's approximately 162.0 square units. So another way we could have got the blue is we could have found the area of the whole entire circle and then subtracted that 39.1 as well. Okay, so that's another way you can find the second sector. All right, these just take practice. It's going to get easier as we go on. Like I said, the formula is real simple. It's just the arc measure over 360 times pi r squared. All right, let's do this one, and then we're going to do some of your problems from your worksheet, if that's okay with you. Number one says find the area of circle D. That means the area of the whole circle. So remember that an area of a whole circle is just pi r squared. And my radius of that circle is 14 feet. So I'm going to say pi times 14 squared. 14 squared is 196, so we can just call that 196 pi. If we want to approximate that in our calculator, 196 times pi is approximately 615.8. 615.8 square feet. And then it says to find the area of the yellow sector. Okay, so for yellow, well, that arc is 120 degrees based off the central angle. So 120 over 360 times 14 squared times pi, which we already said 14 squared was 196. So there's no sense in wasting time recalculating 14 squared again. All right, so my calculator is going to help me. I'm going to say 120 divided by 360, close my parentheses, and then do 196 times pi, and close my parentheses again, and I'm getting about 205.3 square feet. Now, that yellow sector should not be more than the area of the whole circle, so double check there, okay? The area of the whole entire circle should be larger than any of the sectors. Now, the blue sector, I can do the same thing by getting this whole angle measure, which would give me that arc measure, or I could subtract the area of the whole circle minus the area I've got for the yellow sector. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the whole circle area minus the yellow sector to get my blue sector. So the area of the whole circle was 615.8 approximately, minus my area of my yellow sector was 205.3 approximately. So I'm just going to subtract those. And again, I have rounded those numbers. So I'm going to use approximately. So when I subtract those, I get about 410.5, and that's going to be square feet for my area of my blue sector. Okay. Now, for your practice, I believe on that worksheet, it only has you finding one area. Okay, so we're going to do some of those. So let me skip down here past this stuff and go straight to our practice. Now, this is coming from the worksheet. This is number 21 and number 22. So we just want to find the areas of the sector. Now, if you look real close, you can tell that the area that they want you to find is bolder. Okay, so you're going to find the area of the bolded sector. All right. So it's really nice. It gave me the radius and it gave me the angle measure, which we know the angle measure is the same as the arc measure because it's coming from a central angle. So the area of the sector is going to be 120 over 360 times pi times the radius squared. And the radius is 7. So order of operations, I'm going to do my square first. So 120 over 360 times 49 pi. And my calculator helps me out. So I'm going to say parentheses 120 divided by 360, close parentheses, times 49 pi. And I'm getting that the area of this one is approximately 51.3. And it did give me units, so these would be square meters. So the area of that bold sector on number 21 on your worksheet is approximately 51.3 square meters. All right, so number 22 on our worksheet, we want to find the area of the bold sector. They gave me the angle measure, 60 degrees, so the arc measure is also 60 degrees. So sometimes they can give you the area, or they can give you the angle measure of the central angle, or they can give you the arc measure. Either way, if it comes from the center, it's the same point. So for the area of the sector, we do the arc measure over 360 times pi r squared. And they tell me this time my radius is 11. So 11 squared. So that's going to be messing up like crazy. 60 over 360 times 121 pi. And you could simplify that fraction, 60 over 360, that reduces. But since you're having to put everything in the calculator anyway, I just leave it alone. Less work. So calculator, parentheses, 60 divided by 360 times 121 times pi. And I'm getting that's approximately 63.4, and that's going to be square feet. So that's number 21 and number 22, and there's the work shown. So no excuse on those two. Everybody can do that because I just did it for you. So copy those and then practice the rest. Please shoot me a message if you need help with anything or you need to see any more work. I will be glad to help you. I miss you guys, and I hope you're having a great day. Stay safe and take care of yourself. And I will see y'all soon.